An 8-year-old girl was weak, starving, and alone, but the people who promised to protect her inflicted the horror instead. And when she died, they kept her body for months and drove it over 1,000 miles. This isn't fiction. This is real. Stay with me as we uncover one of the most disturbing child abuse cases in recent U.S. history. If you value truthful, respectful, true crime storytelling, consider subscribing, because these victims deserve to be remembered. In 2022, 8-year-old Meela Miller died at the hands of her adoptive mother, 36-year-old Mandie Miller, and her boyfriend, 31-year-old Aleksander Kurmoyarov. Meela wasn't just a child. She was beloved, tiny, and full of promise. But what happened to her would shock even seasoned investigators. If you value truthful, respectful, true crime storytelling, consider subscribing, because these victims deserve to be remembered. Who was Meela? Meela Miller was adopted by her Aunt Mandie and raised as her own daughter. Family and friends remember her smiling, curious, and full of life. But behind closed doors, something was deeply wrong. Warning signs and early abuse. According to court documents, Meela had been pulled out of school early in 2022, and school counselors noted she stopped attending altogether. Neighbors reported yelling, crying sounds of distress. Yet no one could imagine the cruelty that was unfolding, torture and starvation. Investigators later discovered that Meela had been restrained for hours at a time, zip-tied to a car seat, starved until she weighed only 26 pounds, physically assaulted with a hammer. And other means these findings came from surveillance footage and medical examinations after her death. This was not neglect. It was intentional abuse. Death, denial, and delay. Meela died in September 2022, yet Mandie and Aleksander kept her body inside their home for months. They later did the unthinkable. They placed her body in a coffin inside a U-Haul trailer and drove more than 1,000 miles from Washington to South Dakota, where they intended to bury her. Arrest and discovery. Police became involved when a funeral home reported the couple's suspicious request to bury the child without proper documentation. Inside the U-Haul was Meela, silent and gone. Mandie and Aleksander were arrested, initially on charges of failing to report the death, but later faced homicide by abuse, child assault, and unlawful imprisonment. Sentencing. On February 6, 2026, Mandie Miller was sentenced to 32 years in prison, 2 years more than prosecutors requested, for her role in Meela's death. The judge called the abuse heinous and tragic, reflecting the severity of what a parent did to her own child. Aleksander Kurmoyarov also pled guilty and is awaiting sentencing. Family response. At sentencing, Meela's biological mother, Mandie's sister, spoke courageously, expressing both grief and forgiveness, saying that no sentence had ever restored what was lost. Why this case matters. This story exposes how abuse can hide behind closed doors, the dangers of silence from authorities, and neighbors the importance of recognizing early warning signs. Child abuse isn't just a statistic. It's a life cut tragically short. If you believe every victim deserves to be remembered and every story matters, hit subscribe. Turn on notifications so you don't miss upcoming cases that shed light on hidden truths. And in the comments, what warning sign could have changed Meela's fate? Let's talk about it, and maybe help someone in real life.